Latuya. Good luck. Let's develop that. Bishop. I'm going to Bergen and Oslo. Two places. So if you live in those places, you might spot me in the wild. I'm gonna take. Please take back of the pawn. Oh, I had a trap set up. Let me try it again. One more time. All right. Black to play and profit. What's the move here, ladies and gentlemen? Good job. Queen a5. Check. Hitting the king, hitting the knight. No way to stop both. You need a bishop here to stop both, and that's not possible. That's just not possible. You want our betting sponsors to open up a line on the likelihood of me catching an STD in Norway, Eddie? You think that's my sales pitch when I approach companies in the betting area? Hey, you know, a nice organic way to build your audience is to open up STD lines and get our viewers to participate. You think that's a smart business approach? Check. Thanks for the night. And now we're up a knight. So I'm gonna offer a queen trade because we gotta get good at endgames too here. I'm gonna grab that pawn. Thank you very much. I'm gonna grab this pawn too. The reason I'm so ambitious in grabbing pawns is I don't see any pieces around my king that scare me. White's not attacking me, so I do have time on my side to go on these side quests. And now I'll develop. Now I'm leveraging it. I'm offering queen trades and gaining time because I know my opponent is going to avoid queen trades because they're down so much material. Let's offer some more trades. Check. I like pawns and you should too. Okay. I'm not going to give the bishop away. More trades. This way I'm forcing a trade because if you move the bishop out, I can take your knight. So one way or another, I'm trading. One way or another. Until my opponent runs out of all their pieces. Okay. I'll take that pawn. Thank you very much. Let's practice trading queens. What's a move here that looks like it puts pressure on our opponent in terms of trading? A safe square that initiates exchanges. It's not forced, but it looks pretty effective. Well done, Hella. Hella, first one there. Queen c4. It's defended by the pawn. It puts pressure on the queen, the rook, and the knight. That's a good way. Queen f5 is not bad, but queen c4 really gets in their grill. Yeah. They don't want to trade queens, but I'll pick up that knight. Let's offer another queen trade. Let's keep... All right, what's the move here to try to trade queens? Queen a6. Because I was also hitting f1. Check. And now we're up a rook, 2 knights, and a couple pawns. I want to trade queens, sir. Thank you. Checkmate. Caro-Kann. Oh, we're up a pawn right off the bat. Love to see it. Now don't castle if you're white here. Don't castle. That's the one piece of advice I'll give. Good. Good, good, good. I'm gonna go queen d4 hitting this bishop. And then bishop c5, threatening checkmate. At this level, I think people will defend checkmates. And we're up a pawn. Let's just keep it going. What if I go h6? I don't like your knight being near me. Oh, I like the trades. And we've been practicing snatching pawns today, so I'm going to take this. That's our second pawn. How many of these Caro-Kanns have led into big material gains? Pretty much all of them. Almost all of them, hey? All right. I want to trade some more. Bishop b4. You can't take the queen because you're pinned. In before YouTube comments. Eric, you hung your queen. Alrighty. Black to play and win the game. I bet some of you won't see this next move. This bishop is pinned, meaning I can take this, because you can't take. So that's a rook up. Now I take, check, and that's the second rook. Yum yum. And my king is still safe. The knight can't get in very easily. Let's castle. Is that defended? I don't see any rooks on the board left. And they're just resigned. They hung another bishop. I was about to take it. Diego, good luck. I'm not trying to bully people. They're just moving their bishops to squares that I can capture. Like, it's not a me thing. Sure, en passant. There we go. Up a piece. Life is easy. When you play the Caro, it seems, you know. And I'm happy to trade. Can I get some more trades? Sweet. Love it. Let's trade off this knight as well. Sure. And I'll take this rook. Thank you very much. Wow. I'm up, people are just... I'm playing some zombies right now. Hey. It's a good material grabbing opening. Let's try the Caro. Advanced variation. Bishop f4, let me play queen b6. What are you gonna do about that? And now, e6 and c5 just attack that center. Sweet. That helps. Our bishop and queen are already developed. What happens if I take? All right. So what's the drawback of b3? It weakens the dark squares like c3. So I'm gonna go bishop b4, pinning the queen. They can defend. And now, what's the move? What's the move now? We pinned. What do we do after pinning? Yes, d4. Keep it simple. Now they're in trouble. Giving up a knight doesn't solve everything because I'm still attacking it. I won a knight. I should be pretty happy with that. Can I win more? Don't necessarily see it. So I'm just gonna bring this knight in and castle. Just be happy with being up knight. Well, is this pawn loose? I think it is. Thank you. Let's continue the pin. We have 2 pieces on the pin and they have 2 defenders. So let's improve our chances of success. Add a 3rd attacker on the pin. Yes. Wow, some quick wins all of a sudden. Everyone's playing fast in the opening, and the Caro-Kann has some bite. It's got some bite. GG. Jet Surgeon. Good luck. Back to the Caro. Let's develop that bishop. We're playing against the advanced variation. So this is interesting. Sometimes you have to ask yourself, is my bishop really being trapped? And you don't know until your bishop gets trapped. So I'm gonna actually keep my bishop on this diagonal, see if I get trapped or not. If I don't get trapped, as far as I can tell, white's weakening their king side. And I'm okay with that. Yeah. I want to play c5 and challenge the center. Ooh, h4. Okay, let me play h5 and give my bishop some breathing room. And now we'll go c5. Take. We got rid of some of white's center. Takes. I'll go rook c8 and defend the knight that was hanging. And now let's bring the final knight in. But I've closed the king side, so if I castle, my king's probably gonna be pretty safe. Oh no. If I block with a knight, my bishop hangs. If I go here, this poor pawn hangs and we can't give up any pawns. So I'm going to give away my castling rights just to not lose any pawns. Pawns matter. All right, let's go a6. I'm gonna go queen c7. Say hi to this pawn. And now bishop e4. Now that the pawn is pushed, bishop e4 is even safer because none of the pawns can harass it. And now I'll go g6 and just keep my bishop here. And king g7, my king will be safe. Like that. There we go. White has the bishop here, but it's a bit of a close position and the bishops aren't usually as strong. Let me go knight a4. Can I harass these pawns? I don't know why I asked. I was going to do it anyways. Fake politeness. That's a good move. We're playing a strong Japanese lady. Wow. She definitely looks real. Hiromi. Holy smokes. That's a great tactic. I didn't see that. Takes, bishop takes. Uh-oh. Okay. I blundered. That was a strong move by the Japanese lady. My pawns are disappearing. Things have taken a bad turn here. All right, let's figure out a way to come up with some counterplay. And I can't trade queens because I'm down a couple of pawns. That would not be a good endgame. Let me tell you. Okay, let's go knight g4. Now you can take. No? Let's attack. She's just not blundering whatsoever. This is frustrating. Okay, let me move the queen out of the way. Like, these are just some tremendous moves. I'm getting bullied. This pawn is hanging. Please let me win a pawn. I can't take because she takes with check. Holy smokes. These are some elite tactics. Knight e8 might be played. I don't know what to do. This person is extremely strong. Holy smokes. What do I do? The pawns aren't stopping. Can I get some help? Please? Good. I'm gonna need more help. Attack. Check. Check. Help. Check. What was that move? Check. Check. I had no chance that game. They played so well. They played so well. Holy smokes. Jet Surgeon. There were some incredible moves that game. And they were fast. I don't even feel bad. I was just outplayed. I was just outplayed there. Rich the Gambitier. Let's play h5, make sure our bishop doesn't get trapped. Now we're not getting trapped. All right, let's go queen b6. We've had good results with this. Okay. These pieces look out of whack. This looks like more my speed, this kind of game. Let's pin. And castle. Do I want to give up my bishop? No. So I'm going to move out of the way. Move all the way over here so I can target the h4 pawn. Check. Let me grab that pawn. Let's open things up a bit around the king. I think we can target this e-file pretty successfully. Check. That's pinned. Now this is hanging. Let me grab that. Let me grab this. If you take here, I take with the queen, I hate your knight. And if you play your bishop there, I'm just going to go e2 check. Let's go here. I'm just going to trade everything off. Check. Try to go for queen e2. Queen e3 is better because it's checkmate. Good game. Yeah, if people think that game was legit, unfortunately, you're probably brain dead when it comes to chess. If it wasn't obvious, that was like a very blatant cheat. Like, there's really no discussion. That's more blatant than most cheaters. I didn't think I needed to say it, but that was like... You probably believe in horoscopes and a lot of other things. Like, they didn't try to hide it, that game. Scott 2400, this is for 1500. Hopefully this is my final game. We got the exchange. Now I'm going to play e6 and develop this. No trades this time. Offer some trades. White's weakened the pawns on the king side a little bit, so. Rook c8 because we got a semi-open file. Okay. I'll move my knight out of the way, but I still want to make sure everything is nice and secure. Now I'll castle. I don't mind losing this. But in this case, I'm going to take with the f-pawn just to look at this. It's risky. I don't think that's the best move, but I decided to try it because I thought my opponent might forget that they're hanging this. And now we're going to be boring mode. Let's trade the queens. Pawn up. Targeting this as well. Maybe I might have to go king f7 to defend two weaknesses, but that's okay. I can't go here anymore because of this pesky knight. Very pesky. All right, here. I'm gonna take on d4 because I calculated that I can win this bishop and then the rook afterwards. But players are definitely playing better, especially that previous opponent. I wish I could get rid of this knight somehow. Somehow. All right. We're up material. We should trade. Trade. We're up 2 pawns. If I can get rid of this knight, I'll be happy. I just have to figure out how. Knight f7 once this rook moves, maybe? They're not giving me much space. Maybe I should push this pawn and then go rook d8. That way I can remove that. Alright, let's push. Now we have a passed pawn. Get rid of... Can I take that? And then take here? Now I have a cheapo. Ooh, hanging the pawn. Come on, Scott. You're playing very well. We needed a blunder. Check. There we go. Oof, took some hits today. Took some hits. Ow. C6 versus everything. Here we go. Just knight f6. This is the knight that, you know, where do you put it? Knight d7 is not too inspiring. I sometimes want to play c5 and then c6, but I have to take my time first. I'll develop this bishop. e6. Okay, now that this bishop's developed, I'm gonna play c5 and knight c6. Let's go rook c8. Looks useful. Okay. That's a pin. But it's not so threatening because even though black has doubled pawns at some point, I can always undouble my pawns and play c5. Here, let's go bishop f5. White's missing the light squared bishop, which is why I don't... And now, this is a move we've worked on a little bit. I enjoy playing it. It's queen a6. Just to move the queen out of the way and try to harass White's king side a bit. Make it a little harder to castle. Okay, let me take here. Should still be hard to castle. But I can castle. No problem there. I think the opening's been okay. If White doesn't castle, it's not the end of the world, but they're gonna have to figure out something. Okay, here, let's go knight e4, hit the queen, hit the pawn on c5. All right. We traded queens, but I won a pawn, so that's not a bad deal, I'd say. This knight's annoying. Time to play f6. e5, build a nice center. Okay. What if I give a check? king has only 2 squares. I wish it was checkmate. I don't really see a mate. But I see a cheeky move. Bishop c2. And the rook can only go to c1. And I have knight d3 check, winning some material. So that works. Check. Just pull out. Okay. Now we're just going for an endgame. Start trading things. Swing this rook here. And I'm just going to look for trades. Whenever I can force a trade, I will do so. So, in the meantime, I'm going to push these pawns a little bit. Yeah, this is forcing some sort of trade. If white takes, I have rook b2. They go here, well, we take, and we get to trade everything else. So I'm using pawns to initiate exchanges. Nice. Connect 4, I win again. All right. Let's bring the king in. All my pieces are secure, all my pawns are secure. Bring the king in and then push. Let's not blunder this. This is loose. Let's go rook here. If bishop b2, then we have the nice rook c2 response, and I win everything. Check. I was about to take. All right, Caro-Kann. c6, then we go c4. Perfect. The Slav. Let me try dc4. There's a bunch of different moves there. You can play e6. My opponent knows theory. a4 is to prevent black from playing b5 and really holding on to the pawn. But there's other things to try. I'll go knight f6. I don't need to hold on to this pawn. I can just continue development. The risk that you run is when you take this pawn, if white wins it back, you've lost your d-pawn, and it means white has a better chance at grabbing the center. But I'm going to try e5 here. The idea is if the pawn takes, okay. I'll demonstrate that next time. Go bishop b4, develop this bishop. Now I have knight takes c4 ideas. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Now we're just up a pawn. Let's castle. And do I want to trade more? Sure. I'm up a pawn, so let's get some trades in. I don't want to give up that bishop, so move the bishop out of the way, and then if black can complete development, I'm up a pawn and I have a bit of a better pawn structure. That would be nice. That's not so clear. How about I try this move? Queen h4. A subtle threat of hitting this bishop, maybe, depending on my opponent. And there we go. It worked. Bishop goes here. That means the two defenders of the d5 pawn are both out of play. So I'm going to grab this pawn now. Thank you. Do I want to trade? I like my bishops though. I'm a bishop guy. I can trade, but I like the bishops. Let's move the queen. Queen there is a good move. The bishop's defending the knight. I have two attackers and the bishop's defending the knight. So what can we do here to remove one of white's defenders? Because I want to take this, but defends nicely. Block the bishop. Well done. Well done. e4. Let's attack this and reintroduce the threat of taking on f5. So if you move the bishop, now the knight falls. If you move the knight, probably the bishop falls. G6 would allow knight h6 check, and the knight escapes, so. Hello, Gory Hole. This should be tough to meet, because my next move is queen or bishop takes. Okay, knight h6 is a desperado. I will take. It's not a bad move, because white was probably going to lose a piece anyways. So the logic here is at least damage black's king side. Okay, so I want a knight for a pawn. I'm going to take this bishop, because of that's 2 pieces for a pawn. And if I lose the rook, I'll have lost the rook for 3 pieces. And 3 pieces is definitely more than a rook. So I think I'm willing to make that trade. Develop my bishop, develop my knight, develop my rook on a8. I don't mind giving this up. I'm even going to take with the bishop and just be super secure and safe around my king. This bishop's going to go there at some point. Okay. But this bishop defends h7 and I have my queen close by, so I'm not too worried. Just going to bring my rook in. G4, okay. Bishop e4. That's an outpost. This is still defended. I notice the king is almost mated. Check. Well done, Zooted. Well done. King is running here. Check. And queen f2 looks like checkmate. My bishop defends. King can move. Looks good to me. Good game. Akarnik, good luck. Play c6. d5. When I see e3, I'm pretty happy because it means white's dark squared bishop is not going to develop very easily. Nope. Whereas black's bishops are coming out pretty comfortably. Go for a quick castle. And you know what? I might try to turn this into a bit of a stone wall. Since Amon's running a series, I moved my bishop away from f5 so I could play f5 myself. And now we have a stonewall structure, but with our bishop outside of the pawns, which is even more dangerous. Instead of the bishop being on c8, it's on g4. So now I'm gonna be aggressive. This knight needs to develop. My bishop's pointing there. I'm thinking about a rook lift. We should have a strong stonewall here. A very strong stonewall. Let's bring the rook in. Oh, we got a raid. I saw Andrea was DJing, so welcome, Botez Live. Thank you for the raid, and stick around for some chess and music. But I did see that Andrea was taking care of you in that capacity. You're here at a very good time because I'm doing a speed run. This is a bit of a stonewall position coming from c6, d5. And it's black to move here, and we have a really, really good attacking position. And you're gonna work with me. We're gonna figure something out. Because I see a few very, very attractive moves. Very attractive. I think black can pretty much win with an attack right now. My first move is to remove a defender. Bishop takes knight. Now the knight's no longer defending h2. I'm going to sacrifice my bishop for the pawn. Then I'm going to slide my rook in, check. And now the final piece to the puzzle should be the lady, the queen. I'm threatening checkmate and checkmate. The h-file's totally blown open. Let's see what white comes up with. If you take my knight, I give you checkmate. If you run this way, I give you checkmate. If you go g3, defending h1, I go queen h2 check, king f1, and then queen takes f2. I think that was a well engineered attack. Check. With the stone wall this time. And let's double check. Queen and knight on f2. Only one defender, that's the king. Is this checkmate? Looks good to me. Gonna double check because I got 40 seconds. Yep. King can't move. There we go. Leonardo says, that attack was so romantic. It is. I'm a romantic guy. You know, romantic chess, romantic music. Roberto from Argentina. Okay, c6. We took here earlier. We'll practice that again. And we'll practice holding on to our pawns. Yes, it's ugly, but a pawn is a pawn. Like, I mean, you can definitely make a good case. Here, white's actually threatening knight takes b5, eh? Because if pawn takes, then the bishops are touching and white just takes on b7. So we'll go a6. a6. Watch out. The same threat might be in the air. So I'm gonna go queen c8. And defend my bishop. Like that. I did win a pawn. Yes, black is behind in development. There's gonna be a cost for being greedy like that. And it's gonna be double-edged. But the upside is clear. You hold on, you defend, good things are gonna happen. So it's a different style of playing. Some people like the initiative, some people would rather grab the material and defend. Let's go bishop b4, get ready to castle. That's kind of annoying. I'm not sure I want you messing up my king side, especially with my queen offside. If I castle, bishop takes, pawn takes, queen check, looks a bit scary. I'm gonna bring my knight in first. Take back with a knight to keep my king side structure nice and clean. Maybe h6 habits next. h6, yes. That's okay. I'll take the bishop. I said I was down to defend. Pawn takes knight, queen takes knight. We're still up a pawn if you count. And now we have the bishop pair. And the more pieces that get traded off, the less likely it is that white can hurt black's position. Fewer attackers. And the bishops also thrive in open positions. Sure. That's a check. Where do I put my king? King up. Next move is probably going to be simply, I probably could have traded, but yeah. Trade the rooks. trades are good. And let's block the pawn with the king. My next idea is probably to move this bishop out of the way and start pushing these. Or just start pushing right away. Take. Let's not hang anything. We don't need to hang. Push. Just gonna make some passed pawns. And trade. So one thing to look at is where your pawns are. I have 3 pawns on the queen side, and white only has 1. So if I can trade off one of my pawns for their remaining one, I've connected passed pawns, which are generally just the most valuable and easiest way to queen a pawn in chess. So even though I'm only up 1 pawn, there's situations where I'm really gonna be up 2 pawns on one side of the board and I have a chance to get 2 queens. All right, that was good. GG. Yeah, pin to win. But you know, what I meant was like a4, just something like this. White's only down a pawn here, but the position's completely dead because black has 2 really strong connected passers. So it's not just material, it's kind of where the material is distributed. Here we go. Caro-Kann. Good to see this. Let's go bishop g4. And I think I'm winning a pawn right away. Not gonna complain about that. That's gonna happen. Even up to 1500s where I'm at right now. People pre-move, people don't always like really cover their pawns in the opening. They can get a little lazy. And yeah, you can consider pawn grabbing. So now I did win a pawn. I'm behind in development, but a pawn is a pawn. All right, bishop h4. This is a moment where I know some people are hesitant to play moves like g5. They know it's gonna win, but they're like, oh, it's gonna weaken my king side. But we might just castle queen side. I don't care. A piece is worth a lot. I'll defend a weakened king to win a piece. Yes. Yes. Now what? Maybe we should castle queen side. But first, let's harass this queen. I really want to go knight d4, and in my head I'm like, oh, I'm trapping the queen. Knight d4, queen can't go here, 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 here. But I'm not realizing that this pawn is hanging. So I have to set that up. Defend this pawn. And now... knight d4. Where does the queen go? Just a patient move to throw in. That's a good move. Holy smoke, where I did not see that. The queen, that's a great desperado. Because the queen is going to escape via d3 now. I think that's impressive. I think my opponent should definitely get credit for finding that. Alrighty. We're not done yet. Check. That's a double check. Knight takes b5 won a piece, but then they take on e5, and I wanted more. Check. I wanted to win the queen. Check. Check. My opponent's pretty sturdy here. Alright. This should be checkmate. This should be checkmate. Yeah, I mean the point was like I can take here. And then they take on e5. So I win a piece. They kind of get a bit of an attack. I might have to give the piece back. I'm still winning. But what I did was winning even more. Sepe Gimbo from Brazil. All right, c6. g3. I mean, taking the pawn looks juicy. d4 is juicy too, to just immediately harass the knight. But I'll go for the material. b5 doesn't work, remember, so we'll just go e5. Bishop e6. Defend without weakening anything. Okay, this is a threat. So let's develop the knight. Defend. And we got to get castled. Well, when you're up a pawn and the pawn that you're up is doubled, you should be generally pretty happy to trade it off and just be up a clean pawn. So yeah, no complaints from me. In fact, what happens if I go knight c5 and I bump the queen? I attack the queen, I'm also attacking d3, eh? That's always good. Let's grab this, harass the rook. Trade. Now we're up 2 pawns, so trading is encouraged. Very much encouraged. Even if I lose one of those pawns, I have the bishop pair, and I'm up a clean pawn on the queen side. So just looking to trade and looking to make a pass pawn on the queen side. Trade. Man of my word, I promise. Try to keep it simple. Time to bring the king in, but I'm threatening to win another pawn. Bishop takes knight, pawn takes knight, bishop. Okay, I'll take that. Not gonna say no to a second pawn. And trade. Let's bring the king in. Any sort of trade I should be happy with. So I'll go knight d7, looking to trade off. All right, I said the goal is to trade. So force a trade here. There's a couple moves that'll force trades. What's a really effective way to just trade off more material? Some people might suggest bishop f5. I'm looking for something more forcing. Because the knight can move. The best ones are the ones where they can't move. Bishop c4, yeah. Ruin says bishop c4. Good, good, good. Pin is effective. You can't get out of that. And no matter what, I'm just taking this next move. Get some more trades in. Hey, Smucker. Shake. And then we grab. Alrighty, so this happened in the World Championship match between Fischer and Spassky. What happens when people take on h7 or h2 and your king is still close by? This is famous. If you don't know it, this is a great learning opportunity. The bishop is far away from home. We're gonna go g6, taking away the escape diagonal. And h5, we could win our pawn back and take back and be like, okay, you won the pawn, give me the pawn back. But it's gonna be more costly than a pawn. We can charge white more than that. We can charge them the full price of that bishop. It's trapped, no squares, and we're good. Now the conversion is pretty simple. Just push him. I'll put my king in front of the pawns just to block him. Push. 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 Check. Set up the checkmate. Is it king f3 or king d3? King f3, white queens with check. So we're going king d3 so that we can set up queen e2. If we had a rook, it'd be similar too. It's nice. Kim Young 69. Good luck. I'm gonna grab your pawn. I hope that's not... it's probably illegal in North Korea, but it's okay. And I'm gonna hold on to it with b5. What are you doing over here? I don't... Can we grab this pawn or is that too greedy? I'm gonna grab it. It looks undefended. Now we're up 2 pawns. I'm playing some heavy techno as well. Some funky stuff. That's good. Okay, okay. Let's offer a queen trade. I'm up 2 pawns. Trades are great. That's the benefit. Once you grab pawns, you get the leverage. You can start encouraging endgames. Sure. I will encourage that. Let's go e5 so we can develop this bishop and shut this diagonal down. So knight f6, maybe bishop e6, knight b d7, castle, and we're good. I want to trade off some pieces, so I'm going to go knight d7 and bishop c5. That looks like a good way to encourage a trade. Because it's also removing one of their best pieces. This bishop is a good bishop. This bishop, not that threatening. I like my bishops, so I could trade them off, but I'm looking for better trades. Well, what if we go bishop here? I could consider trading, but if I just keep the bishop there, it's probably more annoying for my opponent. I could trade, but I'll wait. It's always an option though, and it's not a bad option to trade. But keeping the bishop there this is like the best bishop on the board. I could have won some material there as well. I didn't go greedy, but in the future, I probably would have just gone g5, g4. In the meantime, I'm just gonna grab the pawns. I definitely could have punished something on the king's side. White just has no space because they have no pawns. We have to get more pieces out though. I want to move this knight, but if I move the knight, this hangs. So first rook e8, over defending e5. Now we can bring our knight in. And then once we bring our knight in, then this bishop develops and the game will play itself. This is being hit. Can I trade? Yeah. I can trade, no problem. And maybe trade some more. Up 3 pawns. I'm looking for all the trades I can. F4, if I take with a pawn, we lose the knight, but I can just take with a knight. Uh-huh. H5. Let's harass this bishop. Where's that bishop going? My opponent is not treating their pawns very well. That bishop's trapped. And that's gonna do it. That's 1600. Good stuff. This was a clean game. We just grabbed everything.